sorry we were late. We were yet again talking about making out with Mothman. Like we do. It's been a while. It's been so long. Welcome. We're gonna get demonetized. Welcome to the Hollow. This is the finale of this little mini campaign. Thank you for being along for the ride. If you're joining us now, you've come at just the right time to see everything fall apart. I'm really stoked to see what happens tonight. But before that, we are gonna do some announcements, and we remember that, and we remember who it starts with, and that person is Jay!
Hello!
He's really scared. He's really scared right now.
I am dealing with more of a cough than I was on Monday. Yes, first shout out to our amazing brand partner, Norse Foundry, that provide us with all of our gemstone and metal dice that we roll on and off screen. They also help us out with giveaways and things, which we have one lined up for later in the month once we get through the first one. And all of our, 99% of our ttrpg music, royalty-free, comes from their library, which you can find on all streaming platforms. So go and check them out. Use the code Swole at their checkout to get 10% off.
Hey, Bets! What you got going on, girl?
Hey, girl. Hey. So we also want, I really hope I'm doing the right one. We also want to give a really great shout out to Griffin Co. Yeah! All of our 3D printed and custom terrain comes from the incredible folks at Griffin Co. You can check them out and use the code SWOLE22, SWOLE22, and you get to save 22% on your purchase at griffinco.com.
Nice.
Wait. 22?
Oh my god.
It's way funnier than it should have been.
Oh man.
If only I had like a slide whistle as well.
Yeah. That would have been better.
The real ones know.
We're not rusty at all. Hey, Eric,
We forgot to talk about brand sponsors before the show today, but that doesn't matter because I'm so prepared. Because our last sponsor is Hero Forge, the official sponsor of Fables of Gallia, which returns tomorrow. Yes, correct. I knew that. And yeah, all of our fully custom player minis come from the amazing Hero Forge. I know we have Hero Forge minis for Fables of Gallia and Daggerheart, which I believe returns next Wednesday. But yeah, design yours today at heroforge.com. Kablow.
Oh man, that's gonna be such a timely gag tonight, I'm sure. Well, nothing else for it. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage and get started. things must end. Many look to this ending with hopeful eyes, searching for signs, predicting portents of this impending apocalypse, when their prophet will return to take them to some version of paradise, leaving a dying world behind. To some, our world has experienced many endings: plagues, climate events, and meteors that have reshaped life as it was and left desolation behind. Prehistoric times, the end came from the stars, falling to our world from the beyond. What if? What if the impetus for our world's next ending is already here? Last time on The Hollow, there's a lot going on. I believe we last left our investigators in a few different tableaus. We have Jebediah, who is approaching the science building after holding a student at gunpoint, and eliciting some key information about a meeting that is happening at midnight. We left Dylan in the library, uncovering some interesting maps that seem to imply that civilization has occluded the area where the Hollow was for some odd reason. And within the science lab, chaos has broken out as Dr. Collins, studying a vial of this black ichor recovered from the sick miners who had been trapped below the earth, it had attached itself to his hand. And holding his hand over the Bunsen burner, you all finally came to the conclusion that Billy Joe, the hand had to go, and you chopped it off with your kit while Clint held him steady. Through all of this chaos and blood and screaming, you all failed to notice as something precious, something important was taken. The stone from which all of these odd happenings have emanated is missing, along with Professor Hargraves. And we are going to return to that science lab. Billy Joe, Clint, you are moments from realizing the absence of this stone. Dr. Collins lays passed out, his severed hand burnt to ash on the lab table, and blood still emanating from his wound, though I believe you tied a tourniquet to kind of stemmy the blood. The sheriff kind of holds him limply in his arms and is trying to prop him up on the table. But you turn and realize the absence of Professor Hargraves, along with the box containing this stone. What do you want to do?
Clint?
Yes?
Where's the box?
Oh, fuck. Where's the professor?
Yeah. Did anybody see which way he went? Sheriff?
Well, there was an awful lot going on. Hey, I think that we should probably get him to some kind of resting place. He needs to lie down and probably be hooked up to something. This can't be good. But God, quick thinking, Billy Joe. That was awful smart of you, chopping his hand off and all.
Well, he would have lost everything if I hadn't.
It's true.
Hopefully he survives.
Sheriff, you think you could get him to some place where he can lay down, Billy Joe and I, we gotta find that box.
Right. Yeah, I've got it. His office is just through there. I think he's got a couch. I'll set him up and I'll get some help. Holler if you need anything.
All right.
And you see he kind of starts to kind of like awkwardly, his arms kind of under the armpits of Dr. Collins is kind of dragging him back, and you see just like drops of blood kind of like, this room is a horror show. It is, if some unassuming student walks by, this is gonna be quite a shock. But he takes him into the office, and you hear him kind of setting him down onto a sofa. And
Clint, we don't have a lot of time.
No, we do not.
Right. What do we know about Hargraves? And I'll start like walking towards the door.
okay, you start walking to the hallway. Across the hall is Dr. Hargraves' office, where you two had been helping him study the stone earlier in the day, and you see that door is still ajar. But looking either way down this hallway, both of you give me a spot hidden check.
Ooh. Oh. It's a 2.
Very nice.
No.
No.
I got a 96.
Ooh. Yeah, you're going to the door and you kind of slip in a little bit of blood, kind of lose your footing and your focus for a second. But Clint, you look around and looking down this hallway, it's these like rich oak walls. You know, this is a very like old building, very stately. But you do see that there is the corner of this long runner, this rug, that goes down the expanse of this hallway that is turned to the right, kind of further down that way.
Can I do something? I'm gonna assume that there's still some kind of weird connection with this stone, and I want to try it and see if I can feel where it is in relation to me. Like, am I being pulled to a certain location?
Give me a power.
Ooh.
Okay.
We haven't had a power roll.
Oh my god. So my power is 77 and I rolled a 75.
Ooh.
Amazing. You kind of, it's been a moment since this stone, it's been kind of inert for some time, after all of the activity back in the hollow when it had cracked in some like small way. But you kind of like close your eyes and steady yourself, and your breath and your heartbeat kind of fall into this familiar rhythm.
Can I think back to that Latin phrase or the words that we talked about? The
Absolutely.
God, star, stone. I don't know. I wrote it down somewhere, but
Yes. You think back to the phrase, the God from above rises below, sees without eyes, needs no roots to grow. The star that is fallen, buried beneath, starts with a spark to ignite all it sees. You think back to those words and you think back to this, and your breath and your heartbeat kind of falls in this thum, 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 thum. Your breath comes in this kind of rhythm for just a moment, and you feel a pull kind of behind your rib cage a little bit. You know it's close, not as close as it has been, and you do notice your mind is kind of clear in a way that maybe it hasn't been. You realize now that there's this clouding, this kind of loudness that has just kind of been omnipresent just below the surface. But now with a clear head, you feel a bit of a tug behind your rib cage, a gut feeling that it is close. I'm not sure with the 75 that you'll get like a direction, but you do know that you have some proximity.
he hadn't gotten far. Clint,
No, he
let's
couldn't
follow- And just take a quick look in his office before we just surpass that completely, and just in case.
Absolutely. You can either give me spot hidden or library use here in this room, both of you.
Ooh.
And we will resolve that in just a moment. Let's go back to Dylan. You are in the library, kind of blissfully unaware of everything that's
Anything.
gone down. A man has lost his hand. A boy has pissed his pants. And you've been reading books. Or what have you been doing?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been researching. I know I had pulled some things on early civilizations, some old newspapers. I think I would be gathering all of that stuff up. Like, I'm ready to bring it back to the professor's office, like, just stoked that I'm like, ooh, I found some information. So I've got all this stuff in my hands, and I'm heading back to where we were.
Sure thing. Yeah, you've got lots of newspapers that you had found and books piled up on your briefcase that you.
Does not leave my side.
Yeah, of course. Of course. You're not Dylan about the briefcase. So you have all these things in your arms and you head out onto the green to head back to the science building. Jebediah, I think about this time as they are entering Professor Hargrave's office, are you heading up to where they had been previously?
I probably would have head back towards where Dylan was.
Okay.
Because I would have had to pick him up on the way back.
Sure thing. We'll say that you all kind of meet up on the green. You see Jebediah come from kind of back behind this building. As you're kind of approaching, you see Dylan tottering around with many things piled up. But you two are together again.
Yeah, but it's crazy what I found in there. I mean, it seems like people have been avoiding that area of the Hollow for quite some time. I'm eager to show everybody. It's all in the maps.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
Did you find anything?
I did. I found this here, and I'll pull out the paper with the meeting time and place on it.
Yes.
This, I just found it on the floor. It must have fallen out of one of the books I was looking at.
Whoa. I mean, what book was it?
I was reading up on demonology and all of that like.
Well, what are the chances? That's bizarre.
It can only be explained when given over to the one in charge.
Is there an insight check? Psychology? What do I do?
Yeah, you absolutely can. Give
I've
me a
been
fast
skeptical of
talk,
this.
Jebediah.
Fast talk?
Yeah, that's kind of deception.
Okay. Not charm?
You could. Charm is more flattery and flirtation. I suppose I could let you
We
make
could
an
try.
argument for trying to make an illusion of kind of like goodness to that. Wait, well, I'll let you have charm.
Yeah, I succeeded on mine.
Oh, sorry. I roll a psychology. Okay, I failed.
Oh shit. Seems right. He's a pious man.
Wow, we're gonna need all the help we can get, even if it's from your good lord.
He is always around, so we should
better.
get back to the others.
I 100% agree.
I imagine that absolutely nothing has gone wrong in the brief time that we have stepped away.
I sure hope not. Can't imagine anything going wrong with the professor's there, the sheriff's there. Everything's got to be A-okay.
There's so many strong and armed people.
smash cut to blood just absolutely smeared across the floor. And kind of some bloody footprints going across this oaken hallway into the professor's office. As the two of you are looking around, let me know what you got for either your spot hidden or your library.
I did not.
No,
Fail,
ma'am.
fail.
Yeah.
Anybody want to use some luck?
Ooh,
Oh.
I feel bad, real bad.
Let me see. Sorry. Luck 50. Oh, sorry. Oh no, I will. I'm gonna use 13 luck.
Ooh.
At first you look around, and this office is disheveled. This is someone who, not disheveled in a way that it's been like turned over, but just disheveled in the way that this is someone who's not necessarily tidy. You keep finding like abandoned teacups, leaving rings on top of like papers and books that are open, and kind of like messy handwriting. But something of interest does grab your attention. As you're kind of like leafing through a bookshelf, a loose sheaf of paper falls to the ground. And you open it up and see that it is a world map, and then like a map of North America and a map of Europe. And you see like along a mountain range in Scotland, there are all these X's kind of in different areas. And you look at the map of North America and you see kind of like from the northeast in like Pennsylvania area along the Appalachian Mountains, there are X's as well. Just strange.
I think I would know enough about geography to know where the hollow is on said map.
Sure.
Is there an X there?
No. You look, and there's nothing south of like West Virginia on this map, and the hollow's like a little, it's in that pocket between Virginia and Tennessee.
Clint, I think we should take this with us, because I think that maybe we could show this to. I forget everyone's name. We've done this for way too. Dylan. Sorry, Eric. I'm sorry.
It's the most memorable name. Such a unique.
It's
Strange.
so far out of the hollow. Yes. Yeah, I think we should show this to Dylan. It might mean something. But we should hurry, because this stone is getting further away from us the longer we stand here.
Yeah.
As you two are conspiring here in this room, you hear footsteps start to approach. Dylan and Jebediah, as you walk up to this hallway, just everything's fine. Give me a spot hidden, both of you.
You know, Jib, I'm excited for this not to be our problem anymore. I think things are looking up.
I can't
also
wait to hand this off to someone else.
I also passed 16.
The both of you are walking down this hallway, and both notice there is this conspicuous smear of a red liquid coming out of the biology lab where Dr. Collins and the sheriff had been. And you see some presumably bloody footprints going across the hall into Professor Hargrave's office.
Now, Dylan, do you...
Just look at each other.
Do you see that?
I don't remember anybody drinking any red cola drinks.
cheer wine invented yet?
Was it tepid aid?
Tepid
aid.
aid.
1917. There would be cheer wine.
Nice.
That's incredible.
For those of y'all
And
who
I-
don't live on the southeast coast, it's a soda that tastes like cherry.
And it's so good. You have to go out of your way to get a cheer wine at some point in your life. Cheer wine, tomato sandwich. It's like the combo.
It tastes like home.
Exactly.
And
Jeb, I'm getting the
Dr.
feeling that
Pepper's
it's
miraculous tonic. Cures all the AIDS here.
getting the feeling that somebody didn't spill their cheer wine and then go on walking through it. So
No, everyone knows that cheer wine is not that bright red.
I'll put down the things that I'm carrying, and I'll take a defensive stance with my suitcase.
Okay. Amazing. You set down your books and papers in this hallway and have your defensive position. Are you approaching kind of which room are you
I think-
kind of wanting to?
So I would go towards the door that the footprints are coming from
Gotcha.
Same.
initially.
Okay.
I think I'm cautiously approaching that same.
As you peek around the corner, you are met with just like there's blood like everywhere. You see the charred remains of a hand on this lab table. You see overturned broken vials. You smell like the smell of like that like Bunsen burner propane smell it's still firing up. Kind of mixing with that like iron, like coppery blood smell, and there is just blood all over the floor. You see multiple sets of footprints, just kind of walking around, and you also see open, or you probably would have taken your kit back with you, Billy Joe, but yeah, you see all of this. And no sign of your compatriots. But you do hear kind of behind you some like rustling around back towards Dr. Hargrave's office.
I would immediately call out, like, Billy Joe, Clint.
I'll point towards the hand and say, now, would this be irony that I mentioned that everyone was heavily armed?
You hear Quink
Nope,
go,
nope, nope.
as I peek my head out the door from the office.
Yeah, I mean, you all kind of peek out. You guys are all converging now.
Oh, you're back. Right. Hey, we found this map. Plus, the stone is gone. We can't really
What's
linger
up?
here.
Where the all the blood come from?
Hand.
Well, yeah, the stuff, the oozy black stuff got on the professor's hand, and it was creeping up his arm, and the only way to stop it was, well,
Good question. Was it the doctor or the
Yeah, it was-
professor?
it was a doctor.
It was Dr. Collins, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said the wrong thing.
Who is also a like I gave him an
Yeah,
office,
yeah.
so but he's a
Yeah.
he's a doctor of medical sciences.
Medical doctor, not a nerd.
Yeah, not a freaking nerd
Freaking
doctor.
Nerd doctor.
Well, where's the doctor now?
Well, the sheriff took him to lay down and to get some help for him. I mean, I put a tourniquet on it. He should be all right. We went straight through the bone. He's fine.
It was
Oh,
brutal.
it seemed mighty calm about all this stuff, right?
Who are you talking to? Mighty calm about cutting up bodies? I mean, that's literally my job.
Well, I mean, is there any other? Did the ooze get out on anybody? Is it
No, we
infecting other
burned it.
people? Oh.
Not that I know of, but we burnt it.
Did you think to cauterize the wound?
No. Most of the bodies I cut up are already dead. Didn't think about that.
That might still be true.
Damn. That is brutal talk, but we gotta find this rock.
Right.
What do you mean? Where's the
That's-
rock?
Rock
That's
in a
cool.
box gone with Professor. Must go.
Hargraves?
Hargraves, he's gone.
Yeah, that sumbitch took the box, and I don't know if it's because the rock was calling to him, or whatever that thing does to people's minds, or if he just took it to, I don't know what's going on, but we gotta find him before it does more damage, just like what happened back in the Hollow, because
Right.
if that starts happening here, there's a lot more people around here than there were back there.
Right.
Why would Hargraves just take the box, though?
That's what we gotta find out.
I'm not really sure. We did find this map. I'm gonna hand it to Dylan, and I don't know if it means anything. It was in his office. But we probably need to walk and talk. Can you look at this while we walk? I'm gonna point to all the papers and books in the hallway and be like, Dylan, it might be easier if you just put those in your briefcase.
I could try.
I mean, carrying the
Stack of books
papers
like
and
this
yeah.
high in a small briefcase.
Probably have to
I'm
take
gonna
your
put
sandwich
jam.
out. in order to get more.
I mean, that sandwich is no good now.
It's been what, 3 days
Hey,
that all
Hey.
of this has happened? Is
hey,
that true?
that sandwich is fine.
Well, then have a stack and fill your briefcase with the papers.
With the power.
Or sandwich.
With the power of the written word. Did y'all find anything while we're walking? Did y'all find anything in the library or Jeb, wherever you went?
We both
I would
went
give
to the library,
them both,
as we
as we're
discussed,
walking,
both of you.
Oh, right.
I would give them kind of a brief rundown of the things that I had researched, along with like the early civilizations, kind of like discovering it, like the Hollow, avoiding it, a lot of the newspapers showing like the opening of the mine, and just kind of a brief history of what I saw without, yeah. But then I get curious about what Billy Joe had with the map that she had, and I'm curious to see how that overlays with the maps that I had discovered.
Yeah,
I
looking at
I forget. Do we know the words that Billy Joe knows?
you know them.
You read
know
them in a book.
Billy Joe,
so
you
I-
don't know the Latin ones. Oh wait.
I-
Oh wait, did I even know that? Did I meta that?
You
Sorry.
didn't
I
know
I
about the
found
Latin.
Yeah, I found some of the words. Like I could decipher some of it from the book that I pulled.
Yeah,
Mm.
Demons and Deities
Yeah.
book, no title, white star with sharp points, astral maps and formations. There's Latin notes. Low.
213 religion into the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah, low eyes root star ignite.
Yes, so that's information Jebediah knows. So yeah,
Okay.
going back to that, I don't think you know that little. As you
heard
projected
was
your
something,
power
though,
out,
right?
those words came to you.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But we did hear something though, right? There was something that we all heard. Maybe I'm just.
I think your sister was spouting off some.
But yeah, my sister was saying something over and
You're
over.
right. Yep, she said
Okay.
all of that.
Okay,
We
okay.
know what we're doing.
I
It
usually
hasn't been
don't write it
2 months
down.
since we
2 months,
played
yeah.
this game.
No. I usually don't write it down unless my character knows it.
You're right. You're right. Your sister. Yes, the first time you heard these words, your sister was muttering them under her breath. So
Okay.
yes.
Oh shit! I just connected that.
Oh shit, indeed.
Sorry, that was above the table. I'm like going back. I'm like, I did write that down. Didn't connect that. All right, you good storyteller. All right.
Billy
Okay.
Joe, I found a book looking through demonology that was based on the stars. There were some Latin words that I could pull from it that echo the message that your sister was relaying.
That's
Well-
weird, Jeb. The only thing you told me was that you found a meeting place.
I said I was looking at demonology books.
So
Seems like pertinent information.
he just saved it for the group. That's all right.
Yes.
So, are you trying to say that we're dealing with demons?
Or something. I don't know of demons that come from the stars.
Well, I mean, you really don't know where demons would come from anyway.
Hell.
Yeah, but where's that?
The abyss.
Right, but where's that?
Down below.
Is it?
Like the hollow?
No.
Well, if you go down far enough, you end up going up, but like through. Like, if you dig a hole,
It's more of a metaphysical below.
I always
All right.
thought hell was in a volcano myself, like hot.
That would make sense.
How old are you?
Yes. I have.
I kind of am surprised Clint's not a flat earther for some reason.
Oh, wait.
That's, no, he's a man of the land. He knows the earth is round.
Dylan's a little surprised he knows so much
There's a
about
lot of things in there.
this. Keeps that to himself, though.
I'm trying to look up what flat earth theory.
I don't know, y'all. I think
While
there was ever a
I
hell, though.
collectively think, I did also find this note that fell out of the book when I opened the page. I'll pull the note out that has the meeting time and place on it.
It has the time. It does not have a place. It said it's been found.
Oh, no, I got the place out of him
Yes.
before leaving.
And it was where their club meets.
Yes. That's run by, I think he said a professor, but I don't think he said the name.
Yeah, he said the archaeological professor.
Who could that be?
Who knows?
Do we know who is the archaeological professor?
It's because it's the professor. that took
It's
all the-
Hargraves.
took the
Okay,
stone.
okay. I wanted to say that, but
Yeah.
we're doing so good.
Collectively remembering bits and pieces.
There's so much like red thread, like being
And now-
connected.
Now, I did find someone in the library, and I walked with them and asked them about a meeting place or a meeting for something. And he said that there was a club meeting run by the archaeological professor.
He just said there was a club meeting run by. I assume it was
Apparently,
Professor
this is
Hargraves.
what the note is pertaining to.
What exactly does the note say? It does just have a time,
It
and
says
it says
it's been found. We meet tonight at midnight.
you're saying the student just knew what that meant.
I had to ask a couple, but eventually someone knew the time that there was a meeting at midnight tonight.
Okay, well, maybe we could find Hargraves first and stop the meeting, because I don't have a good feeling about this.
What time is it?
I'd say it's about like 3 p.m. now. It's like early afternoon. The sun is still out, but it's definitely kind of like starting to slant through the trees at a more pronounced angle.
I would have to agree with you, Billy Joe. I think the first order of business is finding the professor.
I will make a point that I walked down the hallway following the carpet like you had said and around the corner.
Sure. you go down the hallway, and as you see, like there's this like blue carpet kind of, and the corner of it is just kind of flipped. That leads into a doorway that goes down a stairwell. That goes to the floors.
Well, this is a good guess. I'll walk through the stairwell door. Were there... Did he have bloody footprints? Have we just missed that completely?
No, the bloody footprints were y'all's.
I just want to make sure that he didn't have them as well, and we were just missing that completely. Okay, cool.
No, he didn't step that far into the room when all of that was going down.
All right. Well, head down the stairwell. Is it like a quiet stairwell? Is it like
This
windows? It's dark.
Yeah, so this is like an old building that kind of like you went up kind of the main staircase that went to the second landing before. This is kind of a back stairwell that's just kind of, you open it and it is just a stairwell corridor. Just kind of like a like metal stairs leading down. And on each floor it opens into the floor below. But you go in here, there's no sound in here. You don't hear anything other than your footsteps kind of reverberating off of this metal stairway.
I mean, I don't know about tracking things, but does it... Are there any clues to see like what floor he may have stopped at? Do we like...
Yeah,
Is it just
all of
one
you
floor
can
down?
give me a spot hidden or a listen check or track if you have it. You got a 1.
Whoa.
I had
Which
to
one?
figure it out. I had to figure out a couple times, like, what am I rolling? What am I rolling? Is this...
Which one do you want to roll for?
I was going for spot hidden.
Okay.
But God, I guess I would pass all of those. Track. Let's go for it.
Sure. You're looking around, and you go down to the next landing that opens onto the second floor and kind of look around. And you're not really seeing anything, so then you head further down, and you're not sure whether it is like intuition or that like pull behind your rib cage a little bit, but your vision flashes for a moment and you see blue skies and greenery, and you have this feeling, this pull, and you do see as you like head back down to the final landing, that with an exterior door, that there is like a bit of like tweed fabric like caught in the doorway. There's like a sliver of light coming in, and you go to it and you see like as if like something was caught in the door and just kind of ripped away in a hurry, and you find this shred of a familiar looking tweed blazer.
I'll grab the piece of fabric and hold it up to the fellas. Well, that's lucky. And head out the door. It just goes outside.
Yeah. It heads outside onto the green. You see blue skies above. Like I said, the sun is starting to kind of like slant at a considerable angle now. Shadows are starting to cast long across the lawn. It's about like 3-4 p.m. Late afternoon. And you make your way out here. You see plenty of students looking around, doing an initial scan. You don't see the familiar figure of the professor. But you see like different crowds of students kind of joining up on this lawn.
I have a question. Would I have any intuitions to where the professor may have gone? Other than like the places that I know, like at the school, other than his office, obviously.
Oh, You would know there's a few places where professors there's a dining hall that could be of interest that, you sometimes go and get food there. You do know that like on site, you have residences that are here on campus. Kind of set off a little bit from the main part, not near like the student dorms or anything, and obviously like bigger, more like townhomes. Those are a bit a ways away on the other side. But you do know that there are a few different buildings where classes are held outside of just lab classes, different like lecture halls and things like that.
Kind of. I mean, I don't know. He could have gone a lot of different places, but maybe our best guess is to start asking if anybody saw him in this field here.
Right.
Can I look for clues?
Yes. Give me a spot hidden.
Can I listen for clues?
Yeah, you can listen for clues. Actually, all of you. Give me a listen check. Really quick.
Oh, if everyone else is doing a listen, can I do the spot hidden then?
Okay.
Oh, I did it. I did it by 2.
Nice.
Listen.
Pass.
So bad. 70. Very bad.
My ears are still ringing from that man screaming, so I can't hear nothing.
Sure. Yeah, Dylan and Billy Joe, you are kind of more focused. You're racking your brain, Dylan, for things, and Billy Joe, you're kind of turning the fabric over in your hands, thinking. But Clint, you notice there is this moment of like realization that hits you that things have gone quiet. The voices of people mingling out on the lawn, the sounds of birds and cicadas, this constant lull of noise has just hushed. You notice it is almost just this suffocating silence before you start to hear a familiar sound. As you see Jebediah, you see students who had been kind of lounging on the lawn and kind of just gathered in their small circles, kind of amble up to their feet and face away from you. And you see their chest all kind of like heave in unison, this
Now, I think they may be heading towards. Like, I could put 2 and 2 together, because, yeah, okay. I think if we follow these students.
Do we have to?
I mean, could we try to snap some of them out of it? I feel like this is a lot of innocent kids.
I mean, I'm happy to try anything to stop
I'm
that
gonna walk
breathing.
up to the first one and I'm gonna slap him across the face.
I follow suit and do it to the next one.
Absolutely. Give me a power roll, both of you.
Whoa.
Hey,
Got it.
Got it. 41.
Amazing. as your hand makes contact, you see this, like, your vision is overtaken by this, like, green light for just a moment as your hand comes in contact with their face before shaking it off, and the sting kind of like bringing you out of that like momentary reverie, as you see the students kind of like blink up at you too, like, well, what the hell was that for?
Hush. Look at them. And they'll see. Go slap them. And you all slap each other until you stop. All right?
Leave
Otherwise,
one.
you're all gonna
Leave
die.
one. Just one.
One slap.
No, one child.
Oh yeah, you gotta
Leave
leave
one.
somebody to follow. That's fine. We'll pick one up at the front.
You want me to slap everybody but one person? Okay.
Everyone except him.
It's the poor kid who pissed himself.
Oh no.
No, the ginger kid.
You see, sporting a fresh new pair of corduroys, the
Nice to
I think
change.
the spectacled individual from earlier, you do see, and you point him out. But you see that the student you talk to kind of like nervously like goes up and like kind of like gently taps the
You're gonna have to
person
put
next.
a little bit more into it than that.
Oh, okay. Oh,
You're gonna put him back under again.
he slaps with like a fair amount of strength, and you see their friend kind of turns their head really sharply for, what the hell was that for? No, you see, we gotta slap everybody here except for that
Except
guy.
him.
Except this guy. We just gotta start slapping. And like, okay. And you see this same conversation kind of ensue. You do see that, like, as the next person goes to kind of slap, their hand goes to meet the other person's face and just kind of stays there. And they both kind of like fall into this like and you feel the pace kind of like pick up, and all of you kind of feel this like boom, boom in your hearts as well, kind of like join this as kind of like these different webs of people, some of them coming out of it and some of them falling deeper in, making contact. But you do see there's a fair amount of students who are now kind of like looking about them confused, but you do see that the one that you had pointed out to not be slapped is walking slowly but resolutely towards a building on the other side of the green.
And they're all heading generally the same direction once they're like kind of entranced, right?
Yeah, they're moving slow, and they're kind of like, again, moving in pace with the like that's kind of propelling them forward in a way. And they take these stuttering steps and kind of like sway a little bit in a daze before the next one. So it's slow moving, but they are all kind of like convalescing towards one central location.
I think if we find the direction they're going, we'll find our rock and our professor.
Great idea.
And you
I think
start.
to speed this on a little bit, Clint, if you want to pick one of them up and carry him forward a little bit, and then we can then set him down and see what direction he goes, and then set him down again, see what direction he goes.
Anytime you make contact, did you not just see anytime you make contact with them, you run a risk of getting stuck? So we're just
Never
gonna
mind.
follow.
What if you wear gloves?
Do you want to test that? I don't.
Well, Clint wears gloves.
I don't like these creepy children at all. But I mean, I say children, they're probably like in their 20s.
They're college age.
College student.
children.
These young babes.
I don't like these
Just
young adults.
toddlers slapping each other.
Yeah. You probably look when you see Clint. I'll grab him. I'll use my handkerchief to grab him, and kind of just maybe not pick him up, but kind of push him along. Yeah, I'm probably matching like their. I can't even do it, but I'm probably like like I'm trying to like. I'm not. It's like involuntary. Like I'm trying to pace it out.
Gotcha. Yeah, you try to push someone along, and they do kind of like stumble, and they are really uneasy. And as you're kind of pushing them, they fall to their knees, and then kind of like amble back up. It seems like they are not necessarily like in full control of their motor function. So you can hurry them along by forcing them to stumble and kind of like get back up and continue on their way. But as you see this happen, as the breath starts to quicken, the steps do as well, and everyone is convalescing towards a central building with pillars on it. A brick building with the doors, double doors stand open. They are starting to enter. I think that's where we're going to take a quick little break. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and then we will be back to finish out the hollow. Oh my god. Amazing. It's a hit every time.
Makes me laugh.
Cool. We'll be back soon. Fancy meeting you here. What are you up to? Oh, watching the finale of The Hollow? Me too! Just kidding, we're living it. Welcome back.
We're dying it over here.
We left off as things were starting to get a little strange on campus of Franklin University as the students who were collecting on the green have suddenly become hypnotized in a way that is very familiar to you all, breathing in this familiar rhythm, this and starting to move towards this central building that has like these columns over it, and you see that it is the student affairs building, and the double doors lay open, and you see that some of these students who are under this thrall are starting to enter this building.
I think that's the building we got to get into.
Is there a green light coming out?
You look at it. The doorway looks dark. You don't see a green light emanating from this main.
And just so that I don't metagame here, we know that we got stuck in a trance from looking at the stone. We all know that. Okay.
And we've seen this before.
Right,
For
right. I just want to make sure that I'm not like. Okay. I think that we may want to be cautious.
Sorry.
Jibba,
That's concerning.
you should drink some water or something. Entering this building, we might want to be cautious about looking at things. Just because of what happened before.
Yes, ma'am.
Question.
Yeah. Sorry.
Can I see if I have a small mirror in my briefcase?
Ooh! Give me a luck check to see if you would have one.
Son of a bitch. I've been rolling so bad. 95.
Well, you reach into and you feel like loose leaf papers, and with a 95, you also reach in and you're sandwiched. Your fingers just sink into it, and you feel.
Don't touch my sandwich.
You feel it starting to just like fall. It's soggy. It is just like starting to fall apart. The bread is soaked through. Ugh, nasty.
It's just
So
friends. My sandwich.
I'll throw it out.
I
As I
have-
remember that I left my mirror when I took out all the stuff to put the books in.
I have a makeup kit for putting people together. Could we assume that maybe I have a mirror?
Why would they need a mirror?
I might need a mirror.
You can give me a luck check to see if you have a mirror.
All right.
I think I'm generally making my way towards the building, though.
Oh, welcome
not-
in, careful cantrip.
Hello!
Hi, friends.
You're here for our finale of our Call of Cthulhu campaign. Things about to get creepy.
Finale.
How'd your luck check go? Fail?
No.
No mirror. So sorry. But you all start to head into the student affairs building, where you see a throng of students kind of slowly making their way, propelled by this rhythm. You enter.
I enter.
Yeah.
Stepping into the building, you see that the lights are off in here. It is dark. And you don't see any sign of anyone else other than these students who are starting to kind of gather here in kind of this main hall. And you see some of them are starting to fall to their knees here, kind of creating this circle on the floor.
Can we all see this?
As you enter, all of the students, as they're coming behind you, kind of like pushing past you without even noticing you. You're kind of like tossed a little bit by them. But they come in and all fall to their knees slowly in this circle. Not necessarily a perfect circle. It's not like they're sitting like shoulder to shoulder, but just kind of sporadically around facing the center of this room.
Does this look reminiscent of the mine?
You think back to when you first discovered the miners who had been trapped underground, and you found them on their knees in a kind of supplication to this odd stone. And you see too, these, as they sit down on their knees on the ground, they lay their hands palm upward on them, and kind of like their heads go back with this before one by one they start to fall forward, hitting their face on the ground, trying to like break and claw at the floor beneath them. One by one, just bloody noses are starting to run down. You see like there's teeth falling out. Everyone give me a sanity check.
Ooh.
As the sound of their faces just kind of like wetly smacking this wooden floor just
Nope.
Oh no. Oh.
Is that a
I
fail
rolled
for
a-
everybody?
Are
I
we
rolled a
allowed to-
100.
That's a crit fail, right?
Yeah. You can't use luck on
Can't
sanity.
use luck on sanity, so
Oh.
yeah, I failed.
Fail for everybody. All right, I'm gonna
Oh.
roll for everyone.
I would have
I'm
got it if I
rolling-
haven't already lost sanity.
Same.
Ah.
So
I
while he
am-
rolled,
I'm gonna roll a d12 for everyone to see what you lose.
Jesus.
Everyone subtract 10 from your sanity. As in this moment, you are like, this is horrifying. These young students, their faces just kind of vacant and empty. You start to see teeth falling out from their broken mouths. Nose are broken and shifted to the side as again and again they hit with a force that is starting to dent the wooden floor here.
Is there a basement? Do we see any stairs or any kind of indication that they're... I'm gonna look for a light switch and I'm gonna turn the lights on.
Sure enough,
We need to move.
give me a spot hidden check, everybody.
I didn't make it.
nope.
No.
All right. Clint, you're looking around, and you don't see a light switch anywhere, but you do see off to the side, you see a staircase. Or you see like the top of a staircase, and just through kind of a cracked door that seems to descend.
Hey, friends. We got to get out of this room. I can't deal with these nut jobs. I can't deal with the sounds. Not the breathing, not the squelching. No, I can't do it. With their heads hitting the ground. I have extra twine. If there's anything I can do quickly to like tie them together to keep them from any one person to lean forward, I would love to try and keep like almost like all of them are trying to lean forward at once. If they're all facing out, they can't get far enough because someone else is.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
give
all of
me-
them?
We're gonna wait while you hogtie the entire room.
All of them together, like, and just like a quick like, hey, wrap this around them real quick.
Sure.
You're gonna AT them.
Yes, I'm gonna AT an entire group of students.
Amazing. I think I could consider this survival.
Okay.
Tying ropes and all that kind of thing.
Sweet. Okay. I will.
I've just got images of Clint running around the room.
Like with a sword.
Stop squelching! Stop squelching! Oh, hey, that's 14.
That's very good.
Wow.
You're kind of like you hand off an end of the rope to you tie it around a post nearby and can kind of like run around really quickly. And sure enough, you're able to kind of create tension to where as they try to lean forward, they're unable to hit. You see their faces not making contact with it. They're kind of like trying to reach forward and scratching at it with their nails, but they're not able to fully kind of destroy themselves as you kind of run around very quickly. This takes probably, I will say, like 4 to 5 minutes for you to do effectively for everybody. But you are able to keep the student body from disembodying themselves.
Good.
Clint, I think we need to move.
Yep. I mean, we gotta help as many people as we can, right? I mean, I'm done. I'm tying them up. Nice little bow. Stop squelching.
I mean,
And
any of us could have helped, but I just couldn't stop staring at what you were doing, choosing to do in this moment.
Yeah, I mean, I just listen. I just can't have these innocent folks just smashing their faces on the ground. They're gonna kill themselves.
They're not already dead.
I imagine there's also like just like the number of people that he helped versus the amount of people that are still pouring in is probably minimal, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was a good amount in the time that it took for you to do all of that. As more of them came in, you were kind of able to like, you know, position the rope in front. I will say maybe not everybody is fully saved from this, and you do see the ones who are unable are kind of like scratching the floor in a way that's like breaking their nails, and kind of like starting to like scratch into the hardwood as they're just like, you see they're just desperately clawing beneath them, all of them. But there is considerably less wet squelching of faces hitting hardwood now.
That's face squelching.
Done all I could. Let's go.
You all start heading downstairs.
Yes.
You begin to descend this wooden staircase that goes down and around a corner and descends again. And as you start to round that corner, you see at the end of a narrow hallway a oaken door that is closed, but underneath which a small ray of green light is starting to glow. You feel this start to kind of like, the breath in your chest is getting close. You're feeling the sweat kind of start to accumulate on the back of your neck as you're progressing towards this door. And you start to hear voices. It's unclear what they're saying, but if anyone wants to give me a listen check, you are welcome to.
Oh my gosh.
7.
Got it.
Very good.
I passed my first.
12.
100.
Oh.
Okay. So success for Dylan, really okay for everyone, but fantastic. You hear this constant kind of like chanting. It's in a language you don't recognize. You don't recognize necessarily the words, but the sounds are familiar in a way. Every now and then there is something that seems familiar. Stella, incipit, ignire. It sounds like Latin almost, and it's continuous. And it is just like falling in this rhythm. And you hear multiple voices chiming in on this. As over top of it, you hear this whisper, kind of cutting through the rhythm of everything else. Whispering the words that you have all become familiar with now. The God from above rises below. Seas without eyes needs no roots to grow. it's just kind of like weaving in between this chant as, again, you hear this rhythmic exhale, but partnered with this feeling. And as you approach the door closer, you feel it reverberating on the ground in time with this this kind of impact that is kind of like shaking the floor. What do you all want to do?
When I hear seeds without eyes, I'm gonna reach into my pocket where I have one of my daddy's old handkerchiefs, and next to it is a little token. It was a button on my daddy's jacket. I use it all the time for good luck. And as I take that kerchief out, I'll hold on to my button for a second and then put that back in my pocket. And I'm gonna tie that kerchief around my eyes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna walk forward.
All right. The door is closed, but touching the handle, it starts to turn. It is not locked. You all entering the basement.
I'll whisper back, just don't look at it.
I mean,
I'll drop the brim of my hat down so that I can still see where I'm going, but not be looking directly at anything.
Gotcha.
I hold my suitcase in front of my face.
Amazing.
I'll
Each of
use
you prepare.
Oh, sorry. I'll use my compass and see if the glass on it can like reflect.
Ah, interesting. I like it.
It probably won't. do it.
Amazing. Yeah, all of you kind of prepare in your own ways, unsure of what you're about to face on the other side of this door. As turning the knob, it swings open into the room. And this green light, no matter how you shield your eyes, is just kind of flooding out in a bright way that kind of obfuscates the source until you see, I forgot we have prop work for this. And you see silhouettes kind of shadowed against this and kind of like moving, swaying back and forth. And kind of as they're picking up this pace. And as they're doing so, they're stomping with their feet on the ground, going either way. It's a collection of maybe a dozen people. Their shapes, their silhouettes are hard to make out in this room. This light is so bright, and you're all trying to kind of avoid direct eye contact with what is going on. But as you come into this room, you feel this overwhelming feeling of just that pull behind your rib cage, that breath dropping heavy in your chest, that thump thump of your heart falling in rhythm with the motion around you. The figures in the room don't seem to take notice of you at this moment. What do you all want to do?
Is there anything like shelving or anything that I'd be able to hide behind? And just kind of obscure myself.
Give me a luck check. Let's see what's in here.
Oh, I don't think that's very high. Nope. I did it.
Amazing.
Oh.
You see, this room is, the edges of this room are kind of piled up with discarded furniture, covered in sheets. You see there are some bookcases kind of set up against the wall, but there is a little bit of space between this couch that is piled high with other chairs, all kind of like draped partway in this fabric, and you can kind of squeeze between that and the wall to hide yourself from the crowd.
And from there, I'm gonna keep an eye out for Hargraves. So if I need to look around, I'll take my hat off and put it directly from where the light is coming so that I can see the rest with my head up.
Give me a spot hidden. What is everyone else doing?
I'm gonna lift up my handkerchief that's on my eyes just enough to where I'm still looking down, but I'm looking for that tweed suit jacket.
Sure. Give me a spot hidden as well.
I am spending 11 luck to succeed.
I think that as I'm remembering, like, the poem or whatever you want to call it, like that it can see without eyes, but it also ignites all that it sees. I feel like no matter what, we're fucked. So I think I'm just gonna try to scan the room unshielded.
Sure. Give me a spot hidden as well.
And I mainly want to see like the source of it and like what's there.
Sure thing. Clint, what are you doing? Nothing? You're kind of frozen there in the doorway.
I'm looking at my compass as if it's gonna help with like just my hand, like.
And you do see it's reflecting this like green glint off of it. And the needle is vibrating in a way. As you were coming into the room, you're facing south. So the needle was pointing the opposite way as you were kind of like going. But it is now facing directly towards the source of the light and vibrating in a way. And kind of like, you feel it kind of like in your hand. This almost like magnetic pull that is like pulling at this. How did we do on spot hiddens, everybody? Success?
So good. 5.
Wow, so good. We'll start with Jebediah. As you scan around this room, holding your hat to kind of hide from the full force of the light in here, you're scanning around, and what hits you first is that most of the faces in here are young. A lot of these people are students. And you see that there are donned in kind of these robes, but they're rough-hewn. Like they seem old, like a little molded even, and they're indecorous. There's nothing, really signifying about them, but they are all kind of very you look around trying to find Professor Hargraves, and as you're scanning around, you're not seeing any sign of him, and you chance a look a little bit closer to the brightness of the light, and just before kind of shielding your eyes again from the source, you do see this larger silhouette, a bit stooped over, that is standing directly behind like the source of the light. Billy Joe, you as well observe these things as you're kind of like looking around. You don't necessarily see the bit of tweed. The light is so strong that you're really just seeing like darkened silhouettes of people. But again, you kind of see the familiar silhouette, kind of like behind this bright thing. As you're like looking up, you kind of like see the shoes that you recognize, but fearing to look further as it's getting brighter there. Dylan, you lower your briefcase to look about this room. And 2, you are struck with familiarity. Some of these people are students in your classes. You recognize some of them, all excelling in their grades, all grade A students. And you scan the room, and you also see the familiar shape of Professor Hargraves, who stands with his arms raised behind this bright light that is shining up from the ground. And you kind of have to peer around a few of the figures to kind of see the source of it. It is low to the ground. But you start to see movement. As you look towards the source of the light, your eyes adjust for a moment. And the stone that had been whole and somewhat cracked is now laying fully open. a web of vines shooting out, these fleshy tendrils, vine-like but breathing somehow, are emanating around the room and kind of starting to tangle in around the crowd as and kind of like slithering around this room. Um, and it seems impossible, the volume of which is coming from this small object, and just more and more start to come as the tendrils emanate from it. The stone itself is pushed further and further into the earthen ground of this basement. As the tendrils start to weave away around the crowd, you hear this slithering like kind of sound as one comes near all of you. And there is just this like strong smell of like nickel, copper, like this metallic kind of smell that comes off of it. And each of you, your vision goes green. And you are sent to your happiest memory. Clint, what is that for you?
My happiest memory or place? I think it'd be I'm suddenly transported outside on a cliff's edge in Colorado, with my recently deceased wife, but she's alive, and we're on the Outlook that we named after her. But we only named it after her after she passed, so it's kind of this surreal thing where I get to explain it to her, and we're just together.
Yeah, it is that kind of like phantasmagoric feeling of that like dreamlike state where you're kind of like floating and conscious of the fact that you're dreaming, but you don't remember what sent you here. And you're looking at this sunset, and it's not how you remember it necessarily. The beautiful like deep pinks and oranges of the sunset now seem almost green and are giving off this unnatural pulse of a glow. But you're here and you're looking at this outlook, and you are with life, and you feel this joy you haven't felt in some time. Dylan, what's your memory?
My memory would be at school, having kind of proven myself as Margaret, the one who helped co-write a paper where we kind of proved the theoretical application of a small but powerful motor to power, where we're kind of like sitting together and like we finally just like discovered everything that we've been working towards was in fact like true. And it was kind of a culmination of just showing not only like my parents but like everyone at the school that we were like legitimate. And sitting in that moment of just like, wow, like we did this together, I think is where Dylan's mind goes to first.
You feel that overwhelming sense of pride as your classmates are clapping you on the back and kind of congratulating you. You're shaking hands as your working motor is generating power in front of you. The memory seems a bit strange. The electric blue light that your motor had produced is now almost green, and it is moving in this pulse, and you see it is kind of like leaping in this pattern, this familiar pattern, but you can't quite place where you're familiar from. But you sit in that pride, and you sit in that feeling of just accomplishment and knowing that you had an idea and saw it through, and that there's nothing that matches that feeling of creating something where it didn't exist before. Billy Joe, where does your mind take you?
Oh, I'm sitting in some grass. I'm sketching in a book. My daddy's hanging out next to me. We're kind of lounging. We got some tea. And my sisters are running around playing tag in the yard. And in that book, I'm sketching out, anatomy like one does, and talking to my dad about the different ways to dissect and to cut, and which ways are the best ways to prepare a body. And very academic, but he is imparting his knowledge to me. And my mama comes up and sits down with us, and it seems like a dream because mama died when the girls were born, and I don't understand that, but I don't want to look away.
As you see her smiling face as she brings a plate of her classic cornbread recipe out to all of y'all, and sets it down on the gingham blanket on which you all sit. The sun filtering down through the willow tree is dappled on the ground and dances in this kind of green shimmer across the ground that is kind of moving, and you see the wind is moving through the willow in this like constant rhythm that's kind of familiar yet not. It feels comforting in a way that you're lulled into this, and you are happy, and your family is whole, and you're safe. Jebediah, where is your mind taking you?
Jebediah is on this elevated position with a sort of flat, rocky, sort of jutting out section from away from the hillside, which kind of overlooks a lot of the forestry and things. But between a couple of hills in the distance, you can watch the sun setting, and as it goes between the two hills, the light goes this golden, orange, as it's kind of almost refracted through this smaller gap. This is back when I was known by Eugene, and there's a warmth sort of under my hand as I'm kind of sat back on my wrists. On my left hand, there's this little warmth underneath it. And as I turn my head, I see my girlfriend of the time, Annabelle, and it's her hand underneath mine.
Annabelle looks to you and is laughing about some joke. She always laughed at your jokes. She thought you were so funny. And there's this glint in her eyes, this sparkle off of the sun that is glowing in this green reflection that is kind of shining as she's looking up at you, almost tears in her eyes. She's laughing so hard. And she kind of goes to catch her breath, and it comes with and you're in this moment, and that warmth and that feeling of just being seen for who you are and not having to hide behind any facade is just eases your shoulders, and you feel you're all lost. I need all of you to give me a power roll.
Oh, a power roll. Barely made it, but we made it.
I rolled a 1.
Amazing.
Can I use luck on this?
Yes, you can use luck on a power roll.
I am going to use 5.
95.
Oof.
Dylan.
Kind of fitting.
Dylan. This memory is wrong. You're someone who's passionate about facts and passionate about the truth. And things are logical. They make sense. And this isn't how it happened. And something's wrong. And as you like focus on this like green electricity and that is like pulsing in this like rhythm, you kind of like stumble forward with 2 steps and come out of it, looking about the room as you feel this pressure on your leg start to kind of recede as you look down, and one of those tendrils is now receding from you, unable to really make purchase. You look about at your compatriots, and what did each of you roll?
I succeeded right on it on 77.
77.
I rolled a 43.
And you see Clint Clint, it's not right. Like, the timeline isn't working out. And as you're explaining to your late wife the name of this overlook and everything, it hits you that it's not possible. And you see, like, as she like reaches towards you to like touch your face gently, she exhales with a and dissipates into the wind, and you come out of it stumbling forward a bit, feeling this tendril kind of ease down off your shoulder, and you kind of shrug it away, and you and Dylan kind of meet eyes until Billy Joe. This memory is comforting. It's home. But it's not a home that existed. You know it was never like this. And as much as you want to stay, that feeling, that prickling on the back of your neck that something is wrong here is pulling you out of fully giving in to it. And you look down at your sketchbook and you see written all over in pages and pages, the God from above rises below, the God from above rises below, the God from above rises below. You see it just like, and you see your hand kind of moving automatically, and you hold it and you drop the pencil, and as it clatters to the sketchbook, you come out of it and feel this tendril shrug away from your hand where it had grasped it. And you look around, and all of you notice Jebediah stands, eyes open, mouth agape, as 2 tendrils have worked their way down into his throat, and he breathes against them as the pace continues, and you start to see it moving under his neck, under his chest, into his arms, and he is filled with this thing. You start to see the corners of his mouth straining and cracking under the pressure of these, as more and more start to come down and down. And he's being lifted up off the ground. And looking around the room, you see similarly, there are others who are standing in this way, kind of like full, and being lifted off the ground. And further across the room, it happens first to a student that you recognize, Dylan, as they are ripped in half from the inside. And from the 2 rent halves of this person, you see more tendrils shoot out and start to kind of like wave around and reach out to others, as again it happens to another student. I need the 3 of you who are seeing this to make a sanity check.
Part of the cards.
Whew, passed.
Fast? Fail.
I missed
I'm-
it by 7.
I'm gonna roll a d20 for you.
D20? No,
Guys.
you got a 20, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
Subtract 18 though.
Hoofed.
As you are frozen to this spot, and your eyes are wide with fear as next to you another one is ripped in half, and the blood spatters across you, and it tastes metallic in a way that regular blood doesn't. It's black. It is like thick, and it drips off of you, and it just smells rancid. But you see, like, rising from inside this body, like more tendril of these like black tendrils start to like shoot up, as from the very blood, it's as if the minerals therein are forming this new matter that has a life of its own. What do you want to do?
Hey, we're not gonna make it out of this, but we might be able to make it to where the rest of the world can. I still have matches in my bag. I'm gonna rip off my sleeve. I'm gonna tell one of them to shut the door. I'm gonna ignite this fabric. I'm gonna take both sleeves. If I can just get whatever fabric I can, I take my shirt. I don't care. And I'm just gonna start putting everything on fire and putting it into the space. And then I'm gonna hand the matches to Clint. We gotta burn it all.
You see Billy Joe as with a resolute look on her face, starting to rip away parts of her garment and lighting them on fire, dropping them. And where you are dropping them, you do see the tendrils are starting to, you drop it on one and it kind of like shrieks out, and you hear this as like just this shriek, and it just kind of like breaks in half and kind of like sputters out this like black goo, kind of sputtering out from it before it falls inert, where it had been burned, and had been separated from the rest of it. Dylan, was there something you wanted to do?
I did. We're in the basement, right?
Yes.
Is there? I assume there must be some sort of like gas power, gas light, or a pipe down in the basement that has a gas of some sort.
Yeah, you
Power
look up
something.
and you see a fair amount of exposed pipe work. Some of them may be water, some of them you assume are probably gas. Give me a spot hidden to try to figure out what is what.
I would like to spend 17 luck.
Absolutely. You look around and you're trying to kind of, and the light in here is purely cast from this stone that, well, it's hardly a stone anymore. It is revealed for what it is. It is a seed that is planting further and further, embedding itself into the ground here. You hardly see the shell of it anymore. So deep and starting to crack into the earth are these tendrils that are all shooting out of it, these vines that are made of this like human matter. But as a glow emanates in the pattern, you see on one of the pipes a little flame warning, and you know that this is a gas line. Clint, what do you
Clint,
do?
I need you to fire right here.
With my rifle? Like,
I
ugh.
sure hope so.
I'm sorry, I'm so into this. I'm actually frozen in terror. Okay. You got it. And I will try to aim for. First, is Jebediah about to be ripped in half?
you see, like, there is this, like, black ichor starting to, like, come out of his mouth. But Jebediah, his face looks peaceful. And Jebediah, you are embedded in that memory. And you feel nothing. You laugh, a hearty laugh that kind of comes from your chest. And you choke a little bit, like, on that laughter. But you feel nothing of the reality as your face is starting to kind of stretch into odd ways. As more and more are ripped asunder, you assume that the same fate is headed to Jebediah unless something happens.
I will. I'll grab the matches that Billy Joe tossed to me, and I'll shuffle past them to Dylan as I take aim with both hands and shoot that fire pipe or that gas pipe.
Absolutely. Give me a firearms roll.
Is there a help mechanic in this game, like a help action or a help anything?
I can grant advantage. Can you explain to me how you are?
Shit. Am I closer to the pipe? Can I shift places with him so we can be closer to it?
Give me a luck check and we'll see.
Sorry, man.
He goes to aim, and in a moment of inspiration, you remember back to in the hollow when that creature happened and you had used his shoulder to steady the rifle. You can move in front of him and help to do that, and I will let you roll with advantage.
I'm gonna cover my ear.
I was about to say, you'll have to deal with the consequences thereof, but...
Okay. Rifle, okay. Okay. I rolled a 16.
Yeah, that sounds
Wow.
good.
Well, I'll roll again to see if I do better. 14! Haha!
Amazing. You
Sorry,
see
that
him
was
start
loud.
to take aim, and Billy Joe, you go and you kind of like, you grew up around guns, and you kind of like get your shoulder up under and kind of like help him to you adjust a little bit so that it'll fire up. And sure enough, a shot rings out of this room, followed quickly by a high-pitched as you know gas is starting to leak into this room. Small bits of fire are starting to have already spread a fair amount, and you hear this like shrieking of these like tendrils as they're all kind of like whipping around and trying to avoid this fire. But they take on a new life, these flames, as they meet gas. And you smell this overwhelming, like, that almost like sweet, but like heady, like propane smell just start to fill this room as a fireball fills up this entire space and blows you all backwards. I need everyone, Jebediah, you two, to give me a luck check.
Oh, no.
Heart of the cards indeed.
I rolled a 3.
I rolled twice as much as Eric.
I've a 6?
Yeah.
Jeb, how'd you do?
I was like 20, no, 10 away.
As the last thing you see before, like, as you all look at each other, as this fire is starting to fill up this room, you see Jebediah ripped in half as these tendrils all shoot from his body. And as they're starting to reach out towards the three of you, this fireball fills the room, propelling Dylan and Clint back into the hallway. Jebediah, what would you like to do?
So I'm in my dream
Yes.
with Annabelle, kind of looking out across the sunset, but it's not the orange gold that I'm used to. It's bright green. And I look down at myself, and I am as I remember me, like currently. And I look towards Annabelle and I say, life got so complicated. I did bad things, wrongful things. As Eugene, as Otis, and with that there'll be a flash of what was her name? Sarah on the bed, having this breathing, where I close the doors and turn the key and take a pillow and press it over her face until she stops moving. And I take just a red ribbon from her hair. And you guys have seen this ribbon. It's the bookmark in my Bible. As Sloane, as Aubrey, and it'll kind of like, my face will change into the various like ways that I've described that disguise myself. No more running. And I'll take my hat off and I'll just put it on the ground and unbutton my sleeves. Roll them up. I'm sorry things didn't work out differently for us. And I'll take my collar out and throw it. I heard a voice say, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And his name that sat on him was Death. And hell followed with him. And I'll let the flames take me.
Amazing. This happens in your reverie, and you feel that heat start to rise as you, the one who had resisted at first, now. Hello? 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 Billy Joe. This burst of flame that hits you, you're seeing the fruits of your knowledge. You know that you pieced this together. You created this fire and you knew what needed to be done, and you did it without an ounce of fear, and you feel this sense of pride come over you as you know you are your daddy's daughter and you acted just as you needed to. As this burst of flame hits you back against the wall, your head snaps back and Your skull cracks, and you feel this like warm wetness as like this overwhelming like sense of heat overtakes you, and you pass. What are your last thoughts in this moment?
I did what I had to do to make sure there was a world for my sisters to grow up. Daddy, just like you did what you had to do to make sure there was a world for me to grow up. And I know they'll do the same one day if they need to. I hope this ends here.
And you feel a sense of peace come over you as your last vision before everything goes dark is this overwhelming orange brightness, this amber glow, this earthly glow takes over the green one as it dissipates and finally fades. Clint and Dylan, you have been shot back. The door shattered beneath you, but both of you kind of land in a heap in this hallway, charred. You're dealing with a fair amount of burning. Each of you need to take 3 points of damage from this burst. But you kind of like choking on the smoke that is now kind of filling this room, and the shrieks from the inside and the smell is overwhelming, but you see that green light finally start to fade down as the fire is overtaking everything. What do you want to do?
I think I would probably put an arm around Clint and try to just like hobble our way up the stairs, like looking in. I assume I know like the whole thing is bursting with flames, right?
Yeah, and the flames are starting to lick out into the hallway too, and starting to catch on the pieces of door that have shattered in here. There is still this like ungodly heat that is coming out of this, and there's still the smell of gas. So this fire is starting to continue to spread. Yeah.
I think I would look back just to even see if I could spot Billy Joe or Jeb, but I kind of have a feeling that's not possible. But leaving them without looking back feels wrong.
Look back, and you see what was Jeb, and what is Billy Joe as her eyes close, and you see her skin blacken and crack and start to split from the heat, and her eyes are closed, and you know she's gone.
I'll drop my suitcase and try to just move with Clint up the stairs and out of the building as quickly as we can.
This is the character growth I never expected.
As my suitcase bounces on the stairs and my sandwich goes rolling down.
The bread toasts just ever so lightly, now no longer soggy, but toasting to the perfect temperature. But you know you have to leave it behind in order to escape. The two of you hobble out of the stairway, and as you come back into this landing, you see flames are starting to lick up through the center of this room, and you see a mess of students who are now like laying on the ground, passed out, some of them bloodied, and some of them starting kind of drag themselves towards the exit, kind of looking around bewildered, but out of that kind of fugue that they were in. But you're able to help those that are still kind of like able to move as smoke is starting to fill this entire hall, just before all of the windows shatter forward forward onto the green, and you come tossing out onto the lawn, knowing that you evaded this world's ending. This one's. And that is the end of the Hollow. That's where we're gonna leave it.
Oh.
You all did so good.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. This has been an absolute thrill to run. It's been lovely. This is a setting that's so close to my heart, and I feel like it's one I'll return to. We're not done with creepiness here. It's not goodbye. Just goodbye for now.
Oh my gosh, that was
Wow,
so good.
what a-
I was speechless at the end.
That
Yeah, that was crazy.
was awesome. Well done, Ashley.
Yes, well
Well done,
done.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Incredible work.
Yeah,
Guys,
absolutely.
This is your first like true episodic, though, right?
Campaign
Like,
ever.
serial, I should say, not episodic.
Yeah, I've only ever done one shots before. I think the longest game session I've done is like broken into 3. But it's really fun. It's a very interesting way to write that is different than I think what comes the most naturally to me, but I found it. The slow burn, I have to say, is so satisfying though, watching
Yeah.
all of the pieces come together in this one, and you guys were remembering things back, and I was just like, oh, this is why this is so fun.
See, you get it now.
I get it now. I know. The other day I was like, I'm not gonna run another Call of Cthulhu campaign, and now I'm already like, I need to run another Call of Cthulhu campaign.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think
all about the
learning learning the characters, letting the people like explore them is I think it's really, really cool. And I think this game specifically allows you to do a lot more. I don't know. You pull in some details of
Yeah.
I don't know. I find it very, very
You're
interesting.
able to have like a more expansive mystery maybe than something you can resolve in 2 hours, but still, like, it's easy when you have players as good as you all. Thank you all so much for giving your hearts and your minds to this game. You all gave it all, and I just like it's such a pleasure running for you all every single
It was so much fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
you guys.
Thank you, Ash.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you so much. This
So
was so cool. I have
And
a
thank
question.
you all for watching. Thank you so much for being here. And you'll be able, if this is the first one where you came in at an exciting time, but I encourage you to go back on the YouTube and watch where it all started. 'Cause there's
Yeah.
there's
Is it
some good
7
stuff.
total?
9.
Not
9.
I think
9.
10
Nine.
counting session 0.
Oh yeah,
That's-
10 was 0. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, what is that emote? That's cool. Tentacle hearts?
Oh my god. Oh
Yes.
my god.
I want that. How do I get that?
Children of Proteus.
Share
the
your
channel.
secrets.
Amazing. But yeah, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being so supportive. Thank you for being scared on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
What else would you do? You know?
My favorite night to be scared on. How'd you know?
Ashley,
Insane.
Ashley, one point of order really quick. I was 1 point away from being insane.
Insane.
Survived.
No way.
I had 12
Okay,
points of
one
sanity
thing.
left, and I needed to get to an 11 to be insane.
That's so
That's-
low.
I just kept failing.
That's just permanent trauma.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Oh God, one away.
I was like, okay, I got 30. I should be good for the remainder of the rest of this campaign. Maybe one more roll. Then you're like, I'm rolling a d20, and I was like, if she rolls a 20 or a 19, I am screwed.
Oh my God.
And then you gave a
That
face. I was like, oh no.
insane. Yeah, because that's when in Call of Cthulhu, then I'm in control of your character, and you act not necessarily according to your best safety.
Sick.
Oh man, that would have broken Dylan knowing that his only friend made it out is just insane.
Absolutely.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I would have
I mean,
grabbed
you
you and
all are
threw you back in the
definitely-
fire.
I mean,
Maybe.
oh
Whoa.
bless. Ugh, so good.
So good.
So good. You all had such good character moments in this one. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, thank you for giving us a setting to really explore
Yeah.
Yeah.
human
Something
characters.
new.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
super
Really
cool.
new.
Yeah, that's what I like about Call of Cthulhu. You're just a guy, like you're just a
Mhm.
person, and you are up against the
Somebody.
worst stuff. But it's really fun, and this is like Appalachia's a setting that's close to my heart, and it's something that I really wanted to explore in a game. And really, I have more things I want to explore in this setting, so we'll definitely see more of it.
Sick.
Oh,
Looking
that's gonna be
forward to it.
great. Awesome. Well, I will find someone to raid.
Cool.
We are gonna raid another tabletop for Monster of the Week. I think trying to keep with the theme of things.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Magic RPG.
All right.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Monster of the Week is a really fun system too.
Yeah. I will start that up. Ashley, thank you so much. You are incredible. If you haven't seen the rest of it, go check it out on YouTube. Watch us keep getting scared and in real life have nightmares about breathing. It's terrifying. Go check it out on YouTube. We have Fables of Galley tomorrow. We have Daggerheart next week. We're doing some more community stuff. We got a lot of cool stuff
back.
coming up.
There's so much stuff coming up.
Fall is coming up, so we're gonna do spooky things. I think Ashley and Eric and I at least might do some creepy video games every now and again. So stick around, join the Discord if you don't know what's going on, because we post everything there. Have a great night. Ashley, anything to wrap us up?
Stay sane, y'all.